By the way, the police all over the country are ordered to let leftists attack people and stand down. Imagine the image of the cops try to stop us, but let the communists run around. That's going to... Look, the only way we lose is not showing up. Resistance is victory. We've got to engage.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also don't think that the Cleveland police are going to do this. If we are permitted, they will have an obligation to protect the gathering from violence, which is why we...
Well, sure, it's going to be Black Lives Matter and communists out there that want them dead, so they better support the First Amendment.
No, look, I think we may end up having to put pressure on the city of Cleveland to preserve our First Amendment rights and our rights to be heard.
All right, Roger Stone, we're going to break in a moment. You have got a bunch of stuff we're going to be going over. We'll also be up on the phones up. Whole nother hour with Roger Stone, a bunch of Trump clips, a bunch of world news. It is a wild time to be alive. Briefly, you heard him plug it without me pushing him to do it. I didn't even know he was buying our products. I actually went and looked on our computer. Certainly enough, he's been buying the Liver Shield, a bunch of other stuff, so thank you for the support. Brain Force is one of the top nootropics out there. It's only been out 2 years. Third-party sites. We just take the best-known 10 ingredients and put them in there at a low price, high-quality organic. Go check it out for yourself. This is natural. This is healthy. I wouldn't take too many of these, though, or you'll bounce off the walls. It's amazing. Brain Force and your purchase supports the broadcast. InfoWarsLife.com. And we're running a 20% off on Lung Cleanse that is upwards of 20 concentrated herbs and essential oils that just coats the larynx and the throat, whether it's a sore throat or you've got issues with speech like I do sometimes from talking so much. You sign up for auto shipping, get 10% off. $50 off on orders or free shipping on $50 or more orders. I'm teleprompter free, folks. And 20% off right now on Lung Cleanse. It will sell out by Monday because the supplies are limited, but I do a special a few times a year when allergy season gets real bad. So Lung Cleanse available at InfoWarsLife.com right now. And it is your purchase, obviously, of these great products that makes the broadcast possible. Also, check out our great family of high-quality water filters at InfoWarsStore.com, Hillary for President's Church, and so much more, and help support the InfoWar. Roger Stone is our guest. By the way, he's such a trooper, and I'm not kissing his rear end here, but getting to know this guy. He was flying in at 11 last night because he had to work on stuff till 8, battling for this republic. Then, because of summer storms, the flight got bumped to 2:30 in the morning. What time did you land at Austin-Bergstrom?
We actually ended up having to abort after waiting at the airport all night. We flew in this morning, making it by the skin of our teeth. So I spent the night in the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport on my iPad.
Well, I tell you, you're amazing. So
happy to be here.
We want you to rest some this weekend. And you're flying out Saturday night because you're speaking Sunday at a Trump rally.
That's correct. I'm speaking to a Trump rally in Deerfield Beach on Sunday. There's about 400, 500 people expected. And I'm honored to be the main speaker, so I will be there.
Absolutely. Listen, you're going to break some big news, but we just tweeted it. I want to give people more time to tune in on the Chris Christie front because this is important. We're going to talk VP and a bunch of other issues. And I know you like to take questions, so I usually make folks hold for 30 minutes and then, babble. We're going to take like 20 phone calls coming up at about 24 after when we come back in next hour at 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. We're opening the phones up, but for first-time callers for Roger Stone or witnesses to the social justice warriors going crazy, rampaging, and attacking free speech all over. So let's do that coming up at the start of the next hour on the Chris Christie front. On other issues, how is Donald Trump doing? He looks more energized than ever on television, and he's really taken the gloves off. Is that because, well, like he told us, because Hillary's been lying about him?
Well, first of all, I think he's enjoying California. Second of all, a number of people have said, well, why is he spending so much time in California? California's probably not one of the states up for grabs in the general election. Actually, I think his being there is brilliant. He's exacerbating the divisions between Bernie Sanders and Hillary, punching Hillary every day. He knows Sanders cannot be nominated, will not be nominated, although he is giving the Clinton folks fits. So he is out there pouring gasoline on that division with an eye towards winning a third of the...
I was about to say, if I was advising Trump, I'd say live there to show the communists and people with foreign flags beating up women. Every time he does this, he just goes up in the polls.
Yeah, it has worked. So he's running a national campaign. He's not in California because California is necessarily in play, although I wouldn't write it off, not quite yet. but it's a national campaign. Doesn't matter where you are in the United States today, because of mass media, your message is nationwide. It doesn't matter geographically where you are.
Wow. Obviously, Sanders will probably throw his weight behind Hillary. Do you think she might pick him as VP?
I think that's highly unlikely. Yesterday it was interesting because, as you saw, Hillary attacked Trump about Trump University. Trump University is a real estate course that Trump sponsored. And as you may know, left-wing Attorney General Eric Schneiderman of New York has advanced this case because a small number of students at Trump University were dissatisfied with the results.
Doesn't it have like a 98% approval rating?
98% approval rating. Now, Schneiderman first met with Donald Trump and with his daughter Ivanka and tried to shake them down. In essence, said directly, if I got some big campaign contributions, I would drop this matter. Trump knew that was illegal, and he declined. And
that was probably a setup, too.
And Schneiderman has proceeded with the case. Here's the irony, and that is Trump University is nothing compared to a Clinton scandal entitled Laureate Education. Laureate Education is a chain of universities, or I should say colleges and schools nationwide, was taken private by a friend of Bill, Stevie Cohen. Turned out to be a financial disaster. So they brought in Bill
Hold
Clinton.
on, stay right there. We're going to come back and expose this scandal, then the Chris Christie thing. You're about to hear it here first, and so much more. Third hour, tell friends and family, neighbors, retweet. Folks need to tune in. This is important. Stay with us.
Visit GCNlive.com today.
StoneZone.com is this website, by the way. We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Alex Jones. Roger Stone is our guest in studio. He tried for like 12 hours to get here and finally got off the ground this morning and got to Austin, Texas. So he's here with us, StoneZone.com. In fact, guys, they're in my office. Will somebody haul in both his new best-selling books on the Clintons and, of course, on the Bushes? Because this continuity is important to understand just how evil they are. This isn't tit for tat politically. The Clintons robbing foundations, robbing Haitian funds, keeping most of the money, paying for their jets, their homes. These are horrible, nasty people, not just Benghazi or Emailgate. But you were just getting into this other university chain the Clintons are really involved in that is a scam. But listen, at least with real estate schools, you learn some real stuff, but you get out of it, what you put into it. So sour grapes with leftist losers running around like the biggest story on earth is Donald Trump. Some people didn't like the classes they took. I mean, that's their problem. I am so sick of you. Meanwhile, mainline education is almost completely worthless now. You spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on it and learn how to be a social justice warrior. So tell us about this university scandal.
I have a piece up right now at Daily Caller about this. Laureate University is a Clinton scam. Basically, it was a failing chain of private schools. They paid Bill Clinton $16 million in 2010. They didn't disclose that until 2015. It was hidden. Clinton managed for them to get $150 million from the International Finance Corporation.
Good Lord.
Obviously they never qualified for their IPO. Clinton and the friends of Bill on Wall Street, KKR, Goldman Sachs, Stevie Cohen, they made a killing. The students didn't do so well. This pales in comparison to Trump University.
Well, this is unprecedented, 150 mil. We're talking billions in this foundation of every scam you can imagine. Anybody else got that so-called money and then just took it would go to prison.
Yeah, this was a stunning interview you just did with my friend Peter Schweitzer, whose book is terrific and much of which is recapped with attribution in my book with some new information because I came and published several months after Peter. The Clinton Foundation is the largest single money laundering scheme in U.S. criminal history.
So they make Bernie Madoff look like a good boy.
A piker. This is a $2 billion global financial fraud. All of their filings with the individual states, with the IRS, by the way, the state attorney generals regulate charities. All of their filings are permeated with fraud and partial information. Why no Republican attorney general has yet opened an investigation into the Clinton Foundation is beyond me. why the IRS is auditing Donald Trump's taxes but not investigating the Clinton Foundation, over which they have received hundreds.
It's too big to fail.
Right.
I mean, they've got so many other people involved in the scam, they want to cover it up. But I mean, sorry, go ahead.
It's the Achilles heel, though. If there are 3 issues for Donald Trump, they're very simple. The Clintons' epic abuse of women, the fact that Bill sexually assaulted dozens of women, and that Hillary then threatened and intimidated and bullied them into silence. Secondarily, her failure as Secretary of State, Benghazi, the email scandal, and our failed foreign policy. And then thirdly is the epic stealing by Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea, the way they have enriched themselves at the trough by trading governmental favors for giant speaking fees and contributions to their phony charity. 1, 2, 3. That's how you beat Hillary Clinton.
That is the 1, 2, 3 knockout crescendo or trifecta. When we return, the latest on the Chris Christie situation. You're about to hear it here first. The fall of Chris Christie. Why is this important? Well, we'll tell you straight ahead with breaking news with Roger Stone. I'm Alex Jones of Infowars.com. Roger Stone is our guest, StoneZone.com. And he is here in Austin, Texas to be in studio with us, so the TV audience can also have the pleasure of him being with us. We're also going to talk campaign, talk Cleveland, talk the different strategies that are coming up there. StoneZone.com is his website. And I tell you, I know it's been Stone in there and others advising Trump, but Trump's his own man, to take the gloves off, go full bore, and absolutely, attack the system. And whether it's 9/11 Truth and the 28 pages, or whether it's the Clintons abusing women, or whether it is them selling out to foreign countries. I've seen Trump some lately talk about the communist Chinese and how Hillary gets money from him recently. But man, Laura Allen Hughes, her and Bill, would allow the transfer of MERV technology, boost technology, re-entry technology that took a Chinese rocket program, because the Russians wouldn't give them ICBMs. Russia and China hate each other, more than we think. In fact, more than China and Russia have issues with us.
Something Dick Nixon figured out. Go ahead.
Well, you're the expert. Tell us about that. And the Clintons gave, and there was almost an overthrow by the Pentagon of them at the time, by the way, gave them the Panama Canal, gave them most of our deep water ports, and gave them the missile secrets to destroy the United States. China could not do it. And talk about sick, and we're going to break the big news here. When I went and saw The Martian with the anti-gun creature, Matt Damon, in the movie, they say, thank God we don't have good technology, and the Russians don't either. Thank God our rockets are Chinese. Thank you for getting us to Mars and saving Matt Damon. I mean, inverted, and Politburos with red flags flapping. All this foreign money is controlling Hollywood, you name it, and now they have this EU commission which runs things. It's a dictatorship saying we're going to have an internet ID. They're coming after the free speech. So we'll talk about that next, but just the history. You've got to promise sometime, when you're not just battling, for the Trump campaign, the history with Nixon, all the stuff you saw. So just 60 seconds on Nixon, then we'll get into Chris Christie.
Well, I think you made an excellent point, which is Nixon figured out that the Russians and the Chinese could be played off against each other. That's how we got a SALT agreement to limit nuclear weapons. It's how we got the opening to China. They were more concerned about each other. This is the kind of president we need, somebody who puts America's interests first and figures out how to play our enemies off against each other. Now, let's go to the Christie situation. As you know, a federal judge has ruled that a list of unindicted co-conspirators in the George Washington Bridge closing matter be released. Somebody calling himself John Doe has appealed to the court to try to block release of those documents. That hearing is coming up today, I believe. My sources, which are impeccable, tell me that there are, in fact, 2 lists. One is a list of unindicted co-conspirators. The other is a list of public officials who knew in advance that the bridge would be closed and did nothing about it. Sources at the very top tell me that Governor Chris Christie is on the latter list, which, of course, would be inconsistent with everything he has said publicly. So we need to watch that hearing very carefully. I think it is unlikely the judge is going to back off the release of these documents. And finally, the truth of Bridgegate will be known shortly.
Do we think John Doe may be a corpulent governor that resembles a hedgehog?
There were some who thought that was the case. I think